name is Savannah, and today I will be guiding you through a yoga practice to work toward releasing or relieving stress. Stress affects the mind and the body in a variety of ways, and yoga is an exceptionally great way to work on managing stress as it targets both the mind and body, whereas other tools for managing stress focus only on targeting the mind or only on targeting the body. Yoga is a very holistic approach. We look at the mind and the body and how we are feeling as a whole. I would love to hear what you think of this class in the comments below. I hope that you are able to benefit from this practice in some way. Thank you so very much for joining me today. When you are ready, you can join me. We'll start by lying down on our back. So take up lots of space on your mat. Make sure you are comfortable. Get settled in. And then I invite you to place both hands onto your belly. With the hands on the belly, you should really be able to connect in with your breath. Feel the belly rise up into your hands as you breathe in. Feel the belly expand and get bigger. And as you exhale, allow the belly to come back down toward the spine. Allow the belly to get smaller as you exhale. Inhale, feel the belly get bigger. Feel it expand. Allow yourself to take up space. Exhale, let that breath go. Feel the belly melt away from your hands. Inhale, allow the belly to come up to your hands. Make contact. Exhale, the belly comes away from the hands. Keep breathing just like this. Full breaths in, full breaths out. Allow your hands here resting on your belly to help you to stay connected to your breath. Physically feeling each inhale and each exhale. Experience your breath. Be with your breath, be with your body. And just breathe. If you feel any kind of discomfort or tension in your body as you lie here, you can make any kind of adjustment that you need to in order to get settled in. Or another option is to keep focusing on your breath. And maybe that discomfort will begin to dissipate, even just a little bit. With your hands resting on your belly, feel yourself grounded on your mat. Inhale all the way up to the top of your breath. Hold it for a bit. And then exhale to release that breath. Let's take a few more big breaths here. Feel the belly rising and getting bigger as you inhale. And then exhale, allow the belly to come back down once again. Send that breath deep down into your belly. one more big breath here. Exhale, let the breath go. Begin to now wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Arms can come alongside your body. Circle your wrists, circle your ankles if you like. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead. And then let's bring the knees in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins and rock from side to side. Rock towards right hip, right shoulder, and then towards left hip, left shoulder. Just go from side to side. Now bring your right hand on the right knee, left hand, left knee, and take your legs into some big circles. Clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. Just find what feels good for you. Let's switch directions. Hug the knees into the chest, find center. Wrap the arms around the legs, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Hug yourself into a tight little ball. Stay here for a few big breaths. Can you hear your breath? Can you notice your breath? Are you able to fully sense into your breath? Each inhale and each exhale. Good, let's now extend the right leg long. Keep the left knee hugging into your chest. Both hands wrap around the left shin, left knee. Both shoulders rest down onto the mat. Head is heavy, hips are heavy. Can you stretch the right leg a little bit farther out in front? Right toes up towards the ceiling. Two more full breaths here. Breathe in whatever way feels right for you. That could be in and out through your nose, or in and out through your mouth, or maybe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's now begin to take the left knee towards the left shoulder. Bringing it as far towards the left side as you like. If this feels like too much of a stretch for you at this time, just bring the left knee more towards center. Let's bring the left knee back to center now and extend it long onto the mat. Arms rest down alongside the body, legs rest down onto the mat. Let's take a couple of big breaths here before we do the same thing on the other side. Let's bring now the right knee in towards the chest. Both hands wrap around the right shin. Left leg extends even further out towards the front of your mat. Maybe you can squeeze the right knee a little bit closer in towards your body. Left toes up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are heavy down onto the mat. Head rests firmly down onto the mat as well. Allow your breath to be steady and allow your breath to be something that you can always come back to. At any moment, whenever you choose. Let's now bring the right knee towards the right shoulder. Bring it as far out towards the right side as you like. Try to keep the right shoulder and the left shoulder down onto the mat. If you are feeling more tight today, you can bring the right knee more towards center, back where we started. Allow things to gradually open up as we hold this posture. Last big breath here. Bring the right knee back to center. Allow the right leg to go long on your mat. Arms go long. Take 5 breaths here in your Shavasana. Resting everything down onto the earth. Breathing in fully. And breathing out completely. Breathe in, take in that fresh air. Take in whatever it is that you need right now. And then exhale to let go of something that you do not need. One more breath here before we move on. Let's now extend the arms off to a T to either side. Bring the legs up, bent at 90 degrees, and then just take them over towards the right hand side. Coming into a gentle twist, you can look straight up to the ceiling or you can look towards the left hand. Allow both shoulders to root down towards the earth. Allow your neck to soften, shoulders away from the ears. And then just stay in the pose and breathe. If you do need to make any kind of adjustment in the pose in order to settle in, please do that. You always have that option. One more breath. Let's now bring the legs back up through center and take this on the other side. Take the legs over towards the left. Look towards the right hand side if that feels okay for your neck. Otherwise, look straight up to the ceiling, or you can even look towards the left hand. Make any adjustments that you need to make. And then once you are ready, simply be in the pose with your body, with your mind, with your breath. Be here with all parts of yourself. One more breath. Come back towards center now. Hug the knees into your chest, arms wrap around the shins. Roll over towards your right hand side, using your right arm as a pillow for your head, and stay here for a few breaths. Come up to a seated position, cross-legged seated position, using your hands to help get yourself there from that lying position. Once you come into your seated position, shoulders over the hips, crown of the head reaches high up towards the ceiling. Hands can be on the knees, on your lap. Let's just take a couple of big breaths here. Can you allow your inhale and your exhales to even out so that they become equal in length? One more breath. Exhale to let this breath go. Along with it, letting go of something you do not need. Anything that is preoccupying your mind right now. And take a few moments to call to mind some things that are causing you stress at this time. Name them. How many of these things that are stressing you out can you control? What do you have control over? It is important to gain an understanding of what you do have control over and what you do not have control over. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring your right hand to your left knee, left hand out behind you. Look over your left shoulder, come into a seated twist. Stay here and breathe. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand to your right knee, right hand out behind you, look over the right shoulder, sit up tall or shoulders over the hips. Crown of the head stretches up towards the ceiling. Left shoulder relaxes down away from the left ear. Relax the grip of your left hand on the knee. Inhale, reach back through center, arms reach up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Let's walk the hands out in front into a little forward fold. If your hips, your legs, your back is feeling quite tight today, you may stay higher up like this, or even all the way up if this is enough. Otherwise, feel free to come down onto your forearms. Maybe rest the forehead close towards the ground. Let's come back up. Bring your hands onto your knees. Inhale, coming into an arched back. I'm just going to turn so you can see a little bit better. Inhale to arch, look up towards the ceiling and pull your heart forward. Exhale to round, look towards your belly button, straighten your arms. Tuck your chin in toward the chest. Inhale to arch, bending your elbows in towards the sides of your body. Look up towards the ceiling. Exhale to round it in, chin towards the chest, straight arms. Inhale to arch, look up, lift the heart up, reach forward. Bend the elbows in towards the sides of your body, and then exhale to round. Tuck the chin in towards the chest, arms are straight, round in as much as you like. Continue like this. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, arch, and exhale to round. Inhale to reach your arms up, look up towards the hands. Get as much space as you can from the low back all the way up to the fingertips. Find so much space in between each of the vertebrae of your spine. Look up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Look towards your hands. Come into a tabletop position. Take a moment as you come into your tabletop to notice how you are feeling. How is the body feeling, your physical body, and how is your mind feeling? How are you feeling emotionally, mentally? How many thoughts are running through your mind right now? What kind of thoughts are you having? What is the quality of your thoughts? Allow your fingers to spread nice and far apart. Press down into all 10 fingers. Press down into the tops of your feet. Your toes are untucked. Press down into your knees and feel very grounded and supported in this pose. And just breathe here and notice how you are feeling and what is going on for you right now. From here, let's make our way all the way down to our belly. You can take the knees a little bit further back and then bend the elbows in towards the sides of your body as you lower your chest, lower everything all the way down to the mat. Leave your hands just underneath your shoulders. Fingers are still spread nice and far apart. Toes are untucked, tops of feet pressing down to the mat. Inhale to lift up into a cobra. Exhale to lower down. We're just going to continue like this. Inhale to lift the chest up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift Your exhale will take your chest back down to the mat. Now, you can take your feet further apart towards the edges of your mat if you prefer, or you can leave them where they were if that felt good to you. You can also stay lower in your cobra, or you can come up higher. It's completely up to you. And let's just continue like this. Work with your breath. Your inhale will take you up, and your exhale will lower your chest down to the mat. Nose touches the mat. Inhale to lift up, exhale to come down. Inhale to lift up, exhale to come down. One more, just like this. Inhale to lift up, exhale to lower down. Bring one hand over top of the other and rest your forehead down onto your hands. Notice what the quality of your breath is like. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it fast and rush? Or is it slow and taking its time? And then are you able to deepen into your breath? Let's now tent up onto the fingertips. So you're just on the fingertips, palms are lifted, your hands are outside of your mat on either side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Same thing as before, just with a different position for the hands. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. You can also bring the feet wider apart, bringing your feet towards the edges of your mat if you like. Inhale to lift up, exhale to lower. Let's do 3 more. Lower down. From here, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then take them back towards your lower ribs. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Let's just do 2 more of these. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Come onto your knees and press back into a child's pose. Forehead rests down onto the mats. Hips rest down onto the heels. Arms reach out in front of you. Relax the forearms and the hands down to the mats. Come to tabletop. Hands and knees, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Let's walk the hands out towards puppy pose. Hands come to the top edges of the mat. Hips stay over top of the knees. Rest the forehead down towards the mat. Arms are stretched out long. Let's start to take the hands back towards tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's continue like this. Walk the hands out in front of you. Forehead comes down towards the mat. Arms are straight, hips over the knees. And then walk yourself back to tabletop. Let's do a few more. Walk out into puppy pose. Hands to the top corners of your mat. Forehead melts down to the mat. Heart melts down to the mat. Chest is very heavy. And then walk your hands back in towards your tabletop. A few more. your time as you walk yourself back into tabletop, and then as you walk yourself back to puppy pose, get settled into this heart opening posture. Allow yourself to move as quickly or as slowly as your body and as your mind wants you to move. Find what feels so good for you right now. Allow your heart, your chest, your shoulders to open up. Allow your jaw, your forehead to soften. We tend to hold a lot of tension and stress in these parts of the body, so it can feel really good to spend some time getting into those areas. Let's do one more. Walk yourself back to puppy pose. Arms stretch out long. Forehead rests down towards the mat. Chest is heavy. Hips high towards the sky. Take your time to walk the hands back in towards tabletop. Once you're in your tabletop, fingers spread nice and far apart, hips over the knees, press down into the tops of your feet, into your knees, and into all 10 of your fingers. Look forward to the top of your mat and just hold this pose, tabletop. Breathe deeply and notice how you are feeling. Let's now step the right foot in between the hands, top of the mat, and heel toe the right foot to the edge of the mat, right edge of your mat. Both hands are to the inside of the foot. You might want to bring your left knee closer towards the top of your mat, or maybe back behind you a little bit more. It's completely up to you. I encourage you to play around and find what works for you. You can find any movement that you like. Maybe you take the hips from side to side, forward and back, or around in circles. Maybe you find stillness. If you would like to, and you're feeling a little bit more open today, you can come onto your forearms. Or if you would like a little bit more of a challenge in the pose, you can tuck the left toes under and lift your left knee up. Finding more strength or more of a challenge in your lizard pose. Wherever you are, we'll be here for 3 more breaths. Can you deepen into your breath? Can you allow your inhale and your exhales to even out so that they become equal in length? From here, bring the right foot back towards the center of your hands. Hands frame the right foot and step back into your tabletop. Once again, in your tabletop, fingers are spread nice and far apart. Press down into all 10 fingers. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over knees. Press down into the tops of your feet and press down into your knees. Feel grounded and supported in this pose. What can you notice here without judgment? What can you observe? There is no good or bad, right or wrong. It just is what it is. Let's continue on. Step your left foot through between your hands, top of the mat. Bring your left foot to the left edge of your mat so both hands come to the inside of that foot. Maybe you bring your right knee closer in towards your hands or further back of the mat. It's completely up to you. If you are bringing your right knee farther back behind you, that will give you more sensation in the pose. If you're looking for less sensation, you can bring the back knee, the right knee, closer in towards your hands, to the top of your mat. Find any movement here that feels good. Maybe you take the hips from right to left, or forward, backward, or around in circles. There's lots of options. You can also come down onto your forearms. And if you would like to, you can also tuck your back toes under and take that right knee up off of the mat, finding a stronger variation of lizard pose. Or all versions and all variations of the pose are good. Two more breaths. From here, start to bring your left foot back in between your hands, center of your mat, and step the knee back to tabletop pose. Let's get centered back into tabletop one more time. Fingers spread wide apart, shoulders over the wrists, hips align over the knees. Press down into the tops of your feet, into the knees, and into all 10 fingers. Look just a couple of feet in front of you towards the front of your space, and breathe. Moving on from here, step your left foot through in between your hands. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up, and start to turn towards the long edge of your mat. Bringing the feet parallel to one another, parallel to the sides of your mat. Coming up onto tented fingertips here. So the palm is lifted up, you're light on the hand. Find a nice long spine. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. And you can experiment with bringing the feet farther away from one another or closer in. And then when you are ready, fold down, hinging from the hips. You can bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. I like to lower down onto my forearms. Once again, feel free to bend the knees a lot here. Make any adjustments or changes to your position. And then when you are ready, stay here and breathe and get into the pose. And be here with your body, with your mind, with your breath. Be present for yourself. Notice what your mental state is like right now. Another option in this pose is to come onto your hands, fingers spread wide apart, easing out of the pose a little bit, but this is a great option too. Notice what kind of thoughts you are having right now. Are they helpful for you in this moment? Or are they contributing to some of your stress? Just notice without any judgments, just observe. Can you feel your feet press down into your mat a little bit more? Can you feel all 10 toes press down into the mat? And then both heels. The outer edges of your feet and the inner edges of your feet. Can you feel your hips lift higher towards the sky? And are you able to melt your heart lower towards the ground just a little bit? How are the backs of your legs feeling? How are the hips feeling? Where can you release some tension that you are holding on to? We'll take one more breath. And walk your hands towards the left foot, front of the mat. Lower the back knee down and reach your arms up. Inhale. Full breaths in and out through your nose. Steady into your back foot, the top of your back foot, and into the sole of your front foot. Let's bring the hands down, step back into tabletop. Right away, step the right foot through in between your hands. Reach your arms up, low lunge. Reach higher towards the ceiling. Ground down into the sole of your right foot. Press down into the top of your left foot. Feeling steady and stable and grounded in this pose. One more breath. Bring the hands down to the mat. Step back to tabletop. Take child's pose. Sit back onto the heels, arms out in front of you. Bend the elbows to the forearms and the hands rest down. The forehead rests down as well. Your hips are heavy onto the heels. What are you able to let go of right now? What is not serving you at this time? Start to walk your hands back in towards your knees. Coming to a seated position. Place your hands on your knees. Inhale, arch your spine, look up, lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Elbows are bent in towards the sides of your body. Exhale to round your spine, straighten the arms, look towards your belly button, chin is tucked. Inhale to arch, look up towards the ceiling, heart lifts up. Exhale to round it in, straighten through the arms, tuck your chin, look down. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Once more, inhale to arch, look up, lift up. Exhale to round, curl it in. Inhale, take up space, look up, lift up through the heart space. Exhale to round, curl it into a little ball. And then find a neutral spine, shoulders over the hips, and just take a couple of breaths here. From here, make your way down onto your back as we prepare for Shavasana. Let's finish by hugging both knees into the chest, arms wrap around the legs, reaching opposite hand to opposite elbow. If it feels good, you can rock from side to side, coming towards one hip and one shoulder, and then the opposite hip, opposite shoulder. Right hip, right shoulder, and then the left hip, left shoulder. Or if you prefer, hold the pose and find some stillness. Let's now release. Legs go long, arms go long. Take up lots of space. Find Shavasana, our final pose of class. Allow the shoulders to tuck underneath you. Bring them away from the ears. Allow the back of your head to just rest gently down onto your mat. Palms can be up, or palms can be down. Allow the feet to flop open towards the sides of your mat, sides of the room. Allow the thighs and the calves to soften. Make any adjustments that you need in order to settle in and take rest here. And can you hear or stay connected to how you are feeling? Physically, how is the body feeling? But also mentally and emotionally. What kinds of differences do you notice now in your mind or in your body compared to at the beginning of class? How did this yoga practice, these breathing practices, and this connecting in with yourself, how did this all feel for your mind and for your body? What can you notice? And know that this practice will always be available for you to come back to at any time you wish. You are able to come back to feeling more calm, more centered, more grounded. You can come back to this feeling at any point. Notice how it feels to connect with yourself. Notice how it feels to move your body. Notice how it feels to link your breath with your movements. Notice how it feels to work towards cultivating balance between the mind and the body. Notice how it feels to take care of yourself. I will leave you to rest here in your Shavasana. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you would like. Thank you so very much for joining me, practicing with me. It means so much to me. If you enjoyed this practice and if it benefited you in some way, I would really love it if you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I would love to hear your thoughts or feedback, suggestions for future classes in the comments section of this video below. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. The light in me sees and honors the light in you.